Hey folks, Dale Davidson here. Glad you're tuning in today. We've got a good topic today, estate planning for veterans and the different unique issues that veterans face in estate planning. Now, estate planning is not just for the rich and famous, it's for everybody. Because guess what? You don't want the government to tell you who's going to get your property, when they're going to get it, and how they're going to get it, and who's going to be in charge, right? I don't know anybody that wants to do that. Let's leave the government out of it, okay? But veterans, y'all do face some unique estate planning challenges and issues because of the different benefits and programs that are available through the VA. So because we love our veterans, we're here to discuss this topic and VA aid and attendance, VA life insurance, and VA burial benefits when we create an estate plan for you. So veterans face unique estate planning concerns, okay? So in addition to the typical consideration, as a veteran, your access to special benefits and resources must be taken into account when creating an estate plan. Now this includes not only your access, but your spouse's access too. So the programs available to you as a veteran and your beneficiaries through the VA are wide-ranging, and they cover a lot of things. The employment, training, disability benefits, health care, education, life insurance, home loans, and survivor benefits. And we're going to be talking a little bit about all of that here in just a few minutes. So each benefit, though, has their own eligibility requirements, criteria, and the application process is different for each one. So it is a difficult process to navigate, but that's what we're here to help you with. As experienced VA attorneys, estate planning attorneys, we know how to incorporate these benefits in your estate plan. So let's first talk about aid and attendance benefits. Okay, an estate plan should always take into consideration the potential for future long-term care. For eligible veterans who need assistance performing activities of daily living. Remember, activities of daily living include cooking, cleaning, personal hygiene, driving to the grocery store, medication management, financial management, all of those things. Everything we do today and we take for granted, in the future we may not be able to, or we might need assistance. So those are our activities of daily living, okay? And so aid and attendance has everything to do with activities of daily living. Recall the eligibility requirements for aid and attendance is number one, honorable discharge. Number two, you've got to been in a qualifying wartime period, World War I, II, Korea, and Vietnam. We don't have any dates yet for the Gulf Wars. But again, to qualify for aid and attendance, you've got to take into account your assets, your net worth, and your net worth can't exceed a certain amount. And that's right about $140,000 in round figures. So how do you incorporate that in your estate plan if you are over those asset limits? So the calculation for net worth is complicated. So in general, as a veteran, there are two primary deductions to make your income and assets lower when determining net worth for purposes of aid and attendance. Number one is your personal residence, and number two is unreimbursed medical expenses. So let's take your personal residence. Either in Medicaid long-term planning or in VA planning, your residence is an exempt asset. The difference between Medicaid and VA planning is the VA says, well, if you sit on more than 2 acres, then we have to take into account that value of those additional acres in your net worth calculation. So let's say that we've got a house that's worth $300,000, okay, on the tax assessed roll. But then we look on the tax assessed roll, and it breaks it down by structures, and it talks about the land value there. So let's say that the land is worth $25,000 and you've got 5 acres. So that's $5,000 an acre, right? 25 divided by 5 is 5. You get to include in the value of the exempt value of the residence plus $10,000. So you would have to take and add $15,000 of value to your non-exempt. Okay, so it gets a little complicated, but just know that that's part of it, and but that's what we handle every single day. So the second one is unreimbursed medical expenses, and we're talking about your income as a veteran or the spouse of a veteran. Any income used to pay for unreimbursed medical expenses can be deducted from your countable income. So as a veteran, you and your spouse, it's combined, your income is combined. So we've got, let's say for easy math again, $2,000. That's your total household income is $2,000. But each of you pay $170.50 to Medicare Part A, and then you each have a policy, supplemental health insurance policy that you pay $200 a month. So that's $400 plus $340, so that's $700. Just say $750. We get to deduct from $2,000 in order to come up with your income for VA purposes. So in determining what income for VA purposes is, the VA says, okay, now you've got $1,250 of income for VA purposes. You would qualify for $2,250 in benefit. So what we're going to do is we're going to deduct from the $2,250 the $1,250 of income, so we're only going to pay you $1,000. That's how those unreimbursed medical expenses work. But there are true and tried techniques that we use each and every day to increase your unreimbursed medical expenses, and they're perfectly legal. So if you got any questions or comments about that, leave them below, or shoot us an email at dearvaguy@gmail.com, dearvaguy@gmail.com. So how do you use estate planning tools to reduce your assets for aid and attendance? Now, there are a lot of different ways to do that. One is, a simple one is to use the 3-year look-back period that the VA enacted back in August of, I think it was 2018, which says that if you gave away an asset, a non-exempt asset, in order to qualify for VA aid and attendance, then you're going to be disqualified for a 36-month period. Just like the 60-month look-back period in Medicaid, VA's got a 36-month. So we can use those 36-month period to create a period of ineligibility, so that you might have to wait a period of time in order to qualify for VA aid and attendance. There are other ways we can do that through valuations and certain transfers of property among spouses and things of that nature. We can get you qualified. So there are different types of trusts that we would use. Maybe there's an irrevocable trust, and that's the kind of trust that once it's drafted and funded, that you cannot change the terms of the trust. Not saying that you couldn't change some of the things in the trust through a limited power of appointment, but you can't change the trust. That's an alternative that we use a lot also. Then there's, of course, VA life insurance. So life insurance is often a key part of estate planning for individuals, whether it's VA or non-VA. If you are on the edge of being over for the assets, for eligibility for VA aid and attendance, and now you've got about a $50,000 or $100,000 life insurance policy coming to the surviving spouse, that's going to create a problem. So we may want to look at making some kind of transfers. with respect to that life insurance policy. So VA life insurance includes that the service members group life, family service members group life, traumatic injury protection, veteran group life insurance, service disability, veterans insurance, and veterans mortgage life insurance. So these life insurance, they're not mandatory, but veterans use these to supplement or help protect their spouse in the event of death or disability. Life insurance is a great tool. Just know that you can be life insurance rich and cash poor, so be careful with that. Last, burial benefits. So and this includes funeral plans as part of your estate plan. This can help save money and reduce stress for family members. I am a big proponent in going ahead and pre-planning for your arrangements, whether you want to be buried or whether you want to be cremated. But if something happens and you pass away, then there's going to be a lot of grief and a lot of emotion, and you don't want your family members handling all that. So with respect to burial benefits, you can go ahead and have that pre-planned with the funeral company of your choice, okay? And you can go ahead and they'll ask you, are you a veteran? Yes, I am. Here's a copy of my DD-214. They will go ahead and make whatever arrangements that you need to make as a veteran or a spouse of a veteran. If you want to be buried in the National Cemetery, you may qualify for that. Your spouse may qualify for that also. By the way, the National Cemetery down in Tallahassee is absolutely, it's just an amazing sight. I've had several clients that are buried down there, and it's very, very humbling to walk those grounds. But if you want to be buried in a national cemetery, pre-plan it. Don't leave this up to your family members, because guess what? Again, we're going to be grieving. They're going to be grieving. A lot of emotions, and just take the stress off of everybody. So, how do you create an estate plan? Give us a shout, okay? DearVAGuy@gmail.com, DearVAGuy@gmail.com. Leave a comment below. We'll be glad to help you out as best we can. Again, the basis of a good estate plan is, number one, a will. Everybody's got to have a will. If you don't have a will, the state has one for you. They're going to say, who's going to be in charge of your estate? They're going to say, who's going to get your property when you're passed? How they're going to get it, when they're going to get it. Maybe you have, this is not your first marriage, you got a second marriage, but you have children from a first marriage that you want to make sure they're taken care of. Put it in writing. Put it in writing. Who's going to be in charge if you become disabled? Who's going to be able to pay your bills? Put it in writing with a durable power of attorney. Who's going to be in charge if you can't make your medical decisions? Your spouse, your kids, who? Put it in writing. If you don't want to be kept alive by a machine, ventilator, you want to be, just let me go, keep me pain free, put it in writing. Again, the basis of a good estate plan, the will, durable power of attorney, and the advanced directive for healthcare, but make sure it's in writing. Just don't tell somebody. So we hope that this video has been helpful to you. We love our veterans. We love our spouses of our veterans. We do appreciate you, because without you, we would not be free today. Again, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so when new videos come out that you'll be notified. Give us a shout, DearVAGuy@gmail.com, with any questions, or leave a comment below. Until next time, you be blessed. Thank you.
Catching bass on an old fishing boat. One more story from Grandpa Joe. Let's get happy before